Dame time. Oh, what an amazing trade. What an amazing trade. I'll talk about all the offshoots from the trade that saw Lillard go to Milwaukee and Nurkic and some other pieces going to the Suns and Jrue Holiday going to and some picks going to Portland. And so, yeah, I'm a bit unwell, my ears are a bit blocked and stuff, but I'll soldier through. So, bittersweet to see Jrue be the collateral of this move. Without him, we just don't win the title. We just don't win that title. We just don't. And Jrue was amazing for us since he came to us, and he's one of the best defensive guards there is in the league. And without him, we just don't win that title. So whether he stays in Portland or he then gets moved on wherever you play next season, good luck to you, and I hope you do really well and you enjoy sort of wherever you're at. The Ayton Nurkic part, it's a bit interesting. Like, you might, like, Lillard is like top 2 point guard of the league, and so he is, above Jrue Holiday. But in terms of being like a really good point guard, they're both great point guards. So you go, okay, well, then they got a free Ayton on top of that. But in terms of his sort of demeanour and his character, and obviously I don't know him from a bar of soap, but only just seeing how he is within games and that sort of stuff, is if you are starting to rebuild, and that's the direction you're going, I'm not sure you're wanting to bring someone that's maybe got some character flaws that isn't, I'm sure he's a lovely dude, so it's not necessarily a character flaw as a human, but it's more of a case of, is he going to be a good locker room fit with the young guys now that you're going towards? He might get a new lease in life and feeling a little bit less pressure than being on the Suns with the talent that they had, and he might come into his own and actually pull his finger out. So there is that element to it. I think they will move Jrue on. Be interesting to see if he goes to Miami. Sucked in Miami. You've beaten us twice in the playoffs now, and this is some of the subcategory stuff I was talking about. So I love it from a perspective of, and this is why basketball NBA is a business. It's a business, and so you got to look at all avenues. And I said this in my Lillard Bradley Beal video I did ages ago, and I don't know when this will be uploaded, so it might be uploaded when the season starts, who knows. But I said, if you can make yourself marginally better, because I think that's what it's done for Milwaukee. I don't think it's made us astronomically better. Yes, Lillard's probably top 2 point guard of the league. He isn't as great of a defensive player as Jrue Holiday, so that's why I say marginally made us better. Made us really good in aspects that I think will probably help us win a championship, because I just think the pick and roll scenario with Lillard and Giannis will be amazing. The spacing will be amazing. You're not going to be able to necessarily clog a lane, which Miami do quite well against us, and stopping Giannis just going 50. Now if you do that, Lillard's probably going to just drop 50 on you anyway. So I like the fact that we've made ourselves marginally better, but made ourselves better offensively, but also blocked Miami from getting him, because they thought they were in the bag. They thought they were in the bag, and the fact that Lillard wanted to go there, and I wouldn't necessarily say that like their offer was extremely low ball, but obviously there was probably something that Portland wanted a little bit more, and Pat Riley wasn't prepared to give it, thinking that they had the leverage, and that's what happens. You know, if you're a little bit cocky in that way, it could come back to bite you in the ass, and it has with Miami. Now, Lillard, Middleton, and Giannis, if they all stay healthy, I can see us not getting troubled by Miami. And I can see how pissed off Miami would be, because you've now got a scenario where the Milwaukee Bucks are better. Boston Celtics with Kristaps Porzingis, and, you know, I was watching a Stephen A. Smith video a little while ago where, you know, you've got Boston Celtics are pretty tall across the board, even their guards of Brogdon and Derek White, is they're not small guards by any stretch of the imagination. Then you've got Porzingis, who's 7'3", and Tatum, who's 6'9". Is he 6'9" or 6'10"? And Jaylen Brown, who's 6'8". And so, if you're sitting there, Miami, and they don't make any moves, you know, you're sort of starting to feel like you're the outsider that hasn't improved. And obviously, coaching basketball for as long as I have, is I think I only really had like 2 seasons or 3 seasons where I was trying to mould, like when I was coaching like under 19s and under 23s A grade for a very long time. Not necessarily my sort of younger days coaching under 12s, 14s and 16s, when there wasn't like the freedom that I had, and knowing people that had stopped playing basketball and bringing them over and whatever. Lost my train of thought. Hold on, I'll just take a sip of water and see if I can get it back. Is that I think I only had 1 or 2 seasons where I wasn't happy with off-season moves. I was trying to create a dynamic and a fit within a team, and it does, like it annoys you, because it's like I had a core and I wanted to build something around that core, and it just didn't work out the way I'd hoped it would. And so I reckon Miami are feeling a little bit like that at the moment, and if they can't make a play for Jrue Holiday, it'll be interesting now, because does that leverage that Miami thought they had with Lillard, does that flip now? Portland going, well, you want Jrue, you're going to have to, you know, you're like, we're in the box seat, we don't have to trade Jrue to you, sort of thing. Because Jrue hasn't come out and said, I want to be traded again. So therefore, Riley might have to pay overs to get Jrue across to Miami, more than what he would have had to do for Lillard. So that's an interesting take. From the Suns' perspective, I really like the Nurkic. I love it. Obviously, Ayton has got massive potential, but potential is a dangerous word. Because not everyone lives up to potential. You know, you only need to look at people like Gio Okafor and you know, and Bennett and those types that you know, they didn't end up eventuating into anything, and so Nurkic coming to, he's sort of like a set and forget big. He's gonna bang and crash. He's a bit of a bulldozer type player. He actually gives a shit about playing. He does sort of have some injury prone nature to him, but he fits in that team so well, and I really, really like that for them. They obviously got Grayson Allen, which I thought was a good piece for them to get as well. I think they have the ability now. They've got a little bit of depth from getting Allen, which they didn't have before, which now then probably allows them to not necessarily rest, but it might stop one of them, one of the main three, Beal, Durant, from not sitting. Just trying to unblock my ears. Yeah, it might stop that from happening. You know what I mean? So, Booker, Durant, and Beal. If one of them has a bit of a niggle, it's not a case of like, oh, we've got no depth, so we're gonna have to sort of fight through that niggle. They might be able to have a night off. What do I think about Giannis in terms of him coming out and saying what he said? Well, I do like the fact that I like the scenario from a couple of perspectives. I like it from Giannis saying some teams are getting better, and we need to make a move so we get better, so we can keep challenging for a championship. So I love that. I love that. Could we have round it back and gone with exactly the same and still won a title? Possibly. Very, very possibly. But I like the fact that he's gone, the league is shifting. There's better teams. We need to get better, and we need to make some moves so we can get better. I really like that from his standpoint. But what I do like from that standpoint is whether he was truthful or not. I like that, like in terms of make a move to improve or I'm gone. Whether he was truthful or not in that, or whether he just said that to sort of push our organisation in that direction, which I think the latter. I do think the latter, because he's one of the most loyal people in the world, let alone in all over sports, let alone NBA. And so I don't think he was going to. But what I do like is that Milwaukee didn't then try to call his bluff. Didn't go, okay, well, if that's how you feel, we're going to either trade you or we're going to just see how that goes, And then all of a sudden, our team is looking pretty average in the next 2-3 seasons. No one wants to come to us because people don't like the way our management handled that whole situation, and all of a sudden we go back to the days of Dan Gadzarich and bloody Joe Alexander. So, not that I didn't mind Danny Boy in NBA Live. He wasn't too bad. Used to be able to get a double-double with a couple of blocks with him. But yeah, I'm glad that Milwaukee didn't try, like the organisation didn't just go, okay, we're going to call you bluff. We're happy with our roster and we're not going to do anything about it. And we're just going to just see if you are going to execute on those thoughts. And so I love that, because I've seen it time and time again in sport where a team won't try to make things better, or won't try to make adjustments, or won't allow direction from a player, to where then it all blows up in a couple of seasons, and then there's a big window of where that team is shit for a very long time. And it's like, how would it have been different had they have actually tried to listen or tried to work within that scenario? And so yeah, I really like this trade all around. I like from a perspective of that we didn't allow Miami to get better for now, because I don't think Miami are done. And then I suppose I'll end it with this. If I'm the Lakers, I'm blowing everything up. You've got a 37, is he 37? A 37-year-old LeBron James and AD who's made out of glass. Not to say that LeBron is past it by any stretch of the imagination, but I just look at their roster and I look at LeBron being the age of the years and AD with his health the way that it always is. That team, in the landscape of every other team that has improved themselves, they're not even getting anywhere close to the West. They won't even make the Western Conference Finals. I don't reckon. I don't reckon. I could be wrong, but I don't reckon. And so, if I was Lakers, I would be trading AD first with the and because it's a business. Like, if you just say, oh, we're going to blow it all up and go for a rebuild, well, then teams know where you stand, and then you're not going to be able to sort of maneuver the trade scenarios of getting the best deals the way you want to. So you've got to play a bit of a game. You've got to play the game. And I reckon their best bet, the Lakers' best bet, would be to trade Anthony Davis with the dialogue around that we're trying to trade Anthony Davis and get some depth for LeBron James. And then maybe a couple months after that, I'd be trading LeBron James as well. And I'd be doing a full rebuild. I'd be doing a full rebuild if I was the Lakers, and I'd be trying to get as many pieces, picks, players that I can for both those guys, and going, okay, well, or you end up with a team of Jordan Clarkson, Ryan Kelly, and Sacre. Like, do Lakers fans want to go through that again? I don't think so. So, like, that's what I reckon the Lakers should do. The Lakers should just go, we're not going to compete. We're not going to compete. And do they have an upcoming pick in this season? I'm not too sure. Because if they don't, and AD and LeBron go down and they're shit, but then they can't even go into the draft with a decent pick because they're shit. I'd be blowing that all up. I'd be blowing that all up if I was the Lakers. And that might be seen as a defeatist mindset. But I just think if the Lakers don't do that this season, I think it's going to be very hard to salvage a rebuild where you might be well back up there within 2-3 seasons, or you're going to be in a hole for a while. And yes, you are the Lakers, and yes, you probably might find that people will come there eventually. But you look at the Knicks. Knicks are like the Knicks are the Knicks, and not a lot of people want to go and play there. And so, yeah, Lakers, you need to make some tough decisions. And I wouldn't really want to be in your position right now of what decisions they need to be. But I definitely would be. And I wouldn't even know who you could trade AD or LeBron for. But I'd definitely be looking. Definitely be looking if I was the Lakers. yeah, the other sort of stuff is like, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with James Harden. What happens there? Obviously, with the Lillard trade, does Embiid after Harden go? I want out as well. I want out of this basket case as well. Then what happens there? You know, could Lakers, instead of going for a rebuild, go, okay, we'll trade AD and for a younger Embiid. How much younger is Embiid to Davis? For some reason in my mind, I keep thinking Anthony Davis is like mid-30s, but he might only be 31 or 32. Or he might even be 29. I'm not too sure. No, I think he's older than 29, surely. Anyway, I'm just having a conversation with myself here. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Embiid. Does Embiid just go, okay, well, Harden's gone. We've tried to have some sort of a team twice now with Butler, and now Harden, and hasn't worked. Does Embiid just go, I want out as well, and I want to go here, and I'm not going to play until you trade me? It'd be very interesting to see that. And obviously, I'll come back to my Milwaukee Bucks. It'll be interesting to see what we do in terms of filling some roster spots. Isaiah Thomas has come out saying that he didn't need a backup point guard. I wouldn't be going there. And it's not necessarily like you're going to take Lillard off for anybody, but Isaiah Thomas is a shit defender, and he's old, and he's 4'3". And so I'd be trying to find a defensive veteran point guard that can assist some of our younger bench pieces in March and Beauchamp. And I'm going to pronounce that right. I said it really quickly. So if I said it wrong, I probably got away with it. So yeah, I don't know what else is there in terms of who we could sign as little roster fill spots, but I just love the way our team is constructed now. Like, you got Jrue who sort of loved the drive, or the mid range, or drove and dish or whatever. But now you've got Giannis having Lopez, Portis, and Lillard all being marvellous shooters. And you just think, what's that going to do for Giannis's game? What is that going to do? And then if Giannis has a quiet night where he scores 15, but he ends up getting 25 assists because Lillard ends up with 55 or 58 or something like that, I just think it was a really, really good, great trade by everybody. And it's not very often with a 2-team, let alone a 3-team trade, where sort of everyone, I think, comes out in some form of a winner. And I'll say this. So Ayton is nowhere near Lillard. Nowhere near. So you can't say that, Portland did well with that because I got Jrue as well. You can then trade Jrue for a similar package or thereabouts package that you're gonna do to ship Lillard off. So does Ayton and whatever they get back equate to a Lillard? Probably not, but it helps them with their rebuild, and it helps them with the direction that they're trying to go in, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I just love the whole vibe of the whole 3-team trade. Like Nurkic at the Suns, I think, yeah, I love it. I just love the whole thing. I love the whole thing. Anyway, that's it from me. I'm gonna finish my water, go to bed, and yeah, I'm not that great, guys. I'm not that great. Hopefully I get to upload this not in a not too distant future. And hopefully my ears can pop, because they're shitting me to tears. Anyway, that's it for me.